Hi, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about updating app data. So app data is pretty much the data in your web applications. I'm currently in the app builder. As you can see, I have a complex looking interface with a bunch of charts, an input, a button. So all this is connected to my app via the app data. All right. If I were to look over to my left hand side in the left menu, I can look at the visuals. I could look at the visual states tab. I have two columns or two tabs, my initial app data and the live app data. The initial app data is basically just, data that is initialized with my application. And the live app data is the current state of my application. All right. And this has, everything down to the context of your application. As you can see, we have some app settings. We're going to go into app data in the web app series. But today we're just going to focus on updating app data using functions. All right. Now, before I do this, I'm just going to, you know, um, give some more commentary on how, I said that, the app data and the elements on the page are all interconnected. I'm just going to give you a couple of examples of how this is so. I'm just going to look at one of the charts. And if I were to look over here to the attributes and look for the data of my chart, it's pointing towards the app data charts data. And if I were to open up my app data tab, I can see the chart data right here. So basically, this chart is basically getting the data from the app data. All right. If I look at this input is connected to my application through the app data in a field called user status. If I start typing and say something like, I'm feeling great, right? Then if we look over in our live state and just scroll down, I have the user status. I am feeling great. So, that just kind of puts everything in context. Elements on the page are connected to the app data. So you can build data rich or data driven applications using, the relationships between elements, events, and data. And we're going to get into much more detail and much uh, detailed concepts, regarding how to build data-driven applications, but not in this video. So what we want to do is that when we click on this button, which is connected to our tutorial demo function, we want to just update our app data with some random uh, data. Okay. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go to my tutorial demo function. It's going to go into the functions tab, look at my function builder, tutorial demo function, my logic workflow. I'm going to add one step. So we're going to call this step updates clients app data. So this is actually the name of the function step. So here we have the choice to set the fields that we want to update or we want to set. And I'm just going to call this random text or random number. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to use the math random. I'm just going to switch the code. I'm just going to say math.random. I just want a random number every single time that this is clicked. Now, if I don't want to use no code, if I don't want to use code, I could do this without code as well. But that's not the point. I'm going to save this real quick. I am going to refresh the page. It's been deployed, so we know that it's going to be current. So I'm going to click on the button. If I were to inspect my app state, I can see that my random number is set. So this one ends with 7417. And if I were to click the button again, it should change. If I go back, it says now 4802. So basically, we are setting our app uh, data using our update client app data function step. And here we can basically specify what fields that we want to update. All right. So now I've shown this in a nice uh, quick function. Before we go, let's just give an example of how it's being used in a different way, in a different context, in a different application. So I'm just going to switch over to my to-do application. All right. So this application, as you can see, it loaded, and then our to-do list, got displayed. If I were to look at my list element, look at the events, okay, or let's see, it's actually not coming from over there. If I were to look at my lifecycle functions, rather, right, on the upload lifecycle function, there's a get to-do list function. So basically, we have a concept of lifecycle functions. We're going to get into this in the web series. But basically, here, this is just saying, hey, when the app loads, run these functions. So the get to-do list, let's just look for it really quick. So get to-do. So get to-do list. So what it's doing here is that it's going to the database, pulling our to-do list, and basically we're setting it to our app data using the update client app data function. And we're setting the response from our database, our DB response, to the to-do list field. So what happens is that when our app loads, the function runs and our to-do list field in our app data gets updated with the response. So this is how you can build applications on the web using disparate or different data sources, unlimited data sources, and you can basically build data-rich, data-driven applications. All right, that was updating app data using functions. See you in the next video.